iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts,
playlists, and listen live on the free iHeart app.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's funny room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's funny room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On the cutting room floor today.
Sorry, I've just knocked over my coffee cup.
Oh, we'll clean it up. You got a Wetex.
A Wetex.
A Wetex.
Get a Wetex.
Do they still have Wetexes?
Is Wetex a brand? Is it like Hoover? I've got a friend who still says I did the Hoovering.
Yeah.
Hoover is a brand.
Yeah. Wetex is a brand.
As is Band-Aid. Band-Aid's a brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's become part of the parlance.
And then you've got Elastoplast.
Parlance, a brand.
The Parlance. That's another brand. Because Elastoplast, they're a brand.
Yeah. Well, what would you say, sticking plaster, if you didn't want to mention a brand?
That's what you do. It's like people that say a tannoy.
What do they mean?
Well, tannoy is just a brand of speaker. So you would say a PA. That's more over in England. They say tannoy on the anyway.
Anyway.
Yep.
When I had a look at this, and I'll tell you why I was looking it up, what you get for a 7th wedding anniversary or 7th anniversary.
Okay.
You get copper, or get you for that. You don't get arrested. You get copper.
Yep.
Or you get wool.
Okay.
This woman got E. coli.
Oh.
I'll tell you what happened. She's had a 7-year E. coli infection, and do you know how she got it?
How?
She had had an injury to her ankle, so she was bedridden. She was lying in bed recovering from knee surgery, it was.
Yep.
And she was staying in 2 single beds because she was staying at a hotel after her hospital stay. Her boyfriend was getting changed. He bent over in front of her. He had no clothes on. He didn't do it intentionally, but he unleashed the most toxic flatulence that she'd ever smelled.
Hang on, he didn't do it intentionally.
No, he didn't. He was bending over to get changed.
Yeah, right, okay.
And she said that he was not clothed, standing between 2 beds. His butt was facing me. And then the fart happened, she said. What has happened is for 7 years, she has been battling sinus infections. She didn't connect it or any of the ensuing health issues to that incident until doctors took a culture sample 7 years later from her nose. She said she felt terrible. She felt she couldn't breathe, all of this sort of stuff.
Mm.
And so they took a sample and found that in her nose there was E. coli. And E. coli infections happen when you ingest bacteria from poop, as they say here. Bits of poop that are too small to see, whether through contaminating foods with your hands, whether it could be drinks, touching germ-laden surfaces, not washing your hands properly. But she said you don't usually get E. coli in your sinuses because it's from poop. So she said she remembered that her boyfriend used to fart so disgustingly. She remembered the incident because she couldn't get out of the way because her knee made her immobilised.
Right, okay.
So she said she was forced to inhale it because of her surgery. So that's what's happened. Forget your 7-year itch.
Yep.
She has got a 7-year E. coli infection from his fart.
Happy anniversary, baby. He got you on your mind. Tell me something.
That must have been a beauty for her to remember it.
Are they still together?
I think so.
Oh.
But for her to remember it 7 years later when the doctor said, how'd you get E. coli in your nose? And she said, you know how? I'll tell you when. I was lying in bed. He bent over.
She will remember every part of that relationship.
Well, if you want to remember your partner's farts, you'll have to keep a chart.
This is because you farted in my face. If that was the case, I would have got a coli years ago because I've got a younger brother and that's all we ever did when we were kids was store one up and then go in and fart in their face. That's what you do. So,
when someone was asleep?
Yeah, it didn't matter. They could be sitting on the lounge. It was a common thing.
And so you'd run up. Would you keep your pants on?
Yeah, usually clothed. But there'd be a couple of times you come out of the shower. Then one time.
One time what? What happened?
One time there was the catapult incident.
What's that?
So I ran out of the shower and he was there.
And you were going to blast wind in his face?
He was not in his face because he was standing up. And I ran
You're
out.
not that good.
I ran out.
Please continue. Come on, Brendan. You've got your hand over your face. Keep talking. What? You fresh out of the shower.
Fresh out of the shower.
He's standing up.
I'm standing up.
You run out.
And I run out and I've done a Kung Fu kid because this is around the time where everyone was Kung Fu fighting. I've done a Kung Fu.
Nude Kung Fu kick.
And I've gone. And out came we called it the catapult, a perfectly rounded poo, and it landed on his foot. And he had an involuntary reaction and kicked it, and it stuck to the wall. And
There's nothing about that story that's pleasurable. Nothing.
It was like it had the consistency of clay going onto a potter's wheel. So it was just a round
It
ball.
looked like you'd stuccoed the wall.
It looked like somebody just put a round ball of...
So it went from your bottom to his foot to the wall. And who got it off the wall?
Well, I had to, obviously. Because he was in there soaking his foot in the sink.
Soaking his foot in a vat of acid, I'm sure.
So, in your face, lady.
In your face, indeed. This has taken a very dark turn, and I thought it started pretty badly.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more of Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.